Hi, 215. All right, so we are on chapter 3. Chapter 2 was David runs down the clinic hallway. And you met David, you met his OT therapist. You also met Jason and his mother, Mrs. Morehouse. Catherine had a not so nice meeting with Mrs. Morehouse. This chapter is, if it's too loud, cover your ears or ask the other person to be quiet. On the ride home from the clinic, the rain comes. David holds his hands over his ears, blocking any tiny squeaks of the windshield wipers against the glass. David hears everything extra loud, Stephanie says. Milk being poured, shopping carts clanging at the grocery store, my pet guinea pig squealing, the school bus braking as it pulls up to the corner, and the whoosh of the bus door opening. All those things and a million more make David cover his ears fast as lightning. The last day of school should have been a happy day, but I can't think of it without seeing David at the bus stop clutching his umbrella. His head is tipped way over to his shoulder to cover one ear, and his hand is covering the other. Ryan DeShane said he'd steal David's umbrella if he let go of it, and David believed him. I told him that Ryan was joking, but that made it even worse because David laughed and laughed in a twisted position. And Ryan, he mimicked David. He tipped his head all the way over just like David, covered his ear, and mimicked David's laugh. Then I got in trouble with the bus driver. She caught me shoving Ryan. We had to sit in the front seats so that she could keep an eye on us. On the ride to school, I added another rule to David's list. Sometimes people laugh when they like you, but sometimes they laugh to hurt you. I hope David can learn this rule by September, when we have to go back to the bus stop. Maybe the family next door will be moving in when we get home. I watch as one of the birds hunting for fish in the lower water area under the bridge. His feathers are dark and slick from the rain. The movers said 5, but maybe they were wrong. Maybe, Mom says, but our new neighbors might have a long drive, and there's always last-minute things to do when you move. I try to hold my hope down, but it keeps popping up again. Until Mom turns the corner to our street and I see Ryan DeShane getting on his bike, an orange newspaper bag slung over his shoulder, his curly black hair looking frizzy from the rain. I let loose one hope skyward. I hope that he gets soaked. David waves out the car window. Hi, Ryan! Don't say hi to him, I tell David. He's not your friend. Catherine! Mom snaps, the reflection from her glasses flashing in the rearview mirror. Don't stop David from talking to people, not after all the work that we've done to get him to initiate or start conversation. Part of me wants to yell at her and tell her all about Ryan, but Mom will just make it worse. She'll call his mother or the bus driver, and Ryan will be even meaner to David next year. Mom doesn't understand how not everyone is on David's side. I ran into Ryan's mom the other day, and she was telling me all of the fun things that the community center is sponsoring for kids this summer, Mom says. Wouldn't you like to sign up for something, Catherine? Why is it that the minute kids have free time, parents want to fill it up? She said they're having swimming lessons, tennis, yoga, Mom continues. They're even sponsoring a few bus trips and a summer dance. Won't that be fun? I have a rule against dancing, I tell her. No dancing unless I am alone in my room or it is pitch black. Don't be silly. I think it sounds wonderful. I wanted to say, then you do it. But then that would get me in trouble. If you don't want to do something, say, I'll think about it. And then maybe the asker will forget the whole bad idea. I'll think about it. I lean forward, looking between the front seats until I see the driveway next to the door. A long strip of rain black tar, completely empty. I fall back in my seat again. All afternoon, I try to keep too busy to check my watch. Every 15 minutes. But by 4 o'clock, I can't stand waiting in my room anymore. I take my sketchbook and head for the porch where there's a good view of the neighbor's driveway. As I open the door, I hear Mom's voice from somewhere down the hallway. Please stop asking me, David. Dad'll pick you up at 5 o'clock, and that's the last time I'm saying it. I rush outside to our porch swing, worried that Mom's next words will be, why don't you just go find Catherine and see what she's doing? I drive to the steady patter of rain on the roof and cars gushing through the puddles on the road. At 4:45, a slow splashing makes me look up. A minivan passes through a puddle and into the driveway next door. I pull my feet up onto the swing, watching over the top of the sketchbook. A woman gets out of the van and runs for the porch, her purse held over her short hair. From the passenger side, a girl climbs out, tall with straight brown hair falling past her elbows. She's not fat or skinny. She's a perfect in-between. She doesn't run. She just walks, like the rain doesn't bother her at all. Sitting here, thinking about what happened with Jason and seeing Ryan, I figured that today might be one of my bad luck days, and I should let all the bad luck run out overnight before I try something else big. Plus, I haven't baked anything yet, and I want my introducing day to be perfect, not me standing on her porch, dripping wet, handing her soggy cookies. The girl follows her mother inside without once looking over at my house. Our front door opens. Let's go to the video store, David says, holding his umbrella under his arm. He hops onto the swing with me, squiggling my pencil line. 7 minutes. David, sometimes Dad's late. Dad always has an excuse. Traffic, last-minute customers at the pharmacy who run out of their prescription and can't wait until morning. A salesman stopping by with drug samples. But I think even if things went just right, Dad would still be late. It's part of him, like his brown hair or his glasses or his name tag and lab coat. I gave up expecting Dad to be on time years ago, but David thinks everything a person says is the truth. Dad works all the extra hours he can, even on Saturdays, so Mom can afford to work part-time at home. She used to have an office downtown, but David got kicked out of daycare, so now she runs her tax preparation business from our spare bedroom. The good part of having Mom home is she's around to talk to and take me places. But the bad part is David has to come everywhere we go. And sometimes I have to babysit while she meets with clients or makes phone calls. She says it doesn't sound professional when she has to put her hands over her phone and yell, David, put those pants back on. David checks his watch. 6 minutes and 33 seconds. In exactly 6 minutes and 33 seconds, there is going to be a scene. I know that as sure as I know that the window next door is open and that David's scream will travel from my porch across the yard and through that open window. A red sports car zooms by on the road. Puddles spraying our fence. Let's count cars, I suggest. There's one. He glances up. It's not easy to sidetrack David. especially when it involves the video store. But he does like to count cars. A truck rolls by. 2! Raising his arm, David holds it out like so that he can see both the road and his watch. And 5 minutes, 6 seconds. Well, maybe 5 minutes. 3 cars and 4 minutes, 58 seconds. I give up. We count cars. 4, 5, 6, and he counts minutes. 3, 2, 1. Remember the rule. I flip to the back of my sketchbook and show him. Late doesn't mean not coming. Our new neighborhood's front door opens. 10, 9, David shouts the seconds, like an announcer at a rocket launch. The girl steps onto her porch. 8, 7. I scramble to cover his mouth, but David jumps off the porch swing. A car's coming. Please let it be Dad. 6, 5, David yells, and the girl next door glances our way. 4, 3, 2, 1. I peek over, but the girl isn't glancing now. She's staring right at us. 7 cars, David screams as the car goes past. The whole world is covered with buttons, and not one of them is mine. I jump up to stop his hands from flapping like 2 fierce and angry birds. Is he okay? The girl calls from across the street. I could help you look for it. Look for it? Do you need help finding his button? She asks. Oh no, thanks. I struggle to hold David down. The truth is, I wouldn't even know where to begin explaining, especially hollering from my porch across the street to hers. Talking to David can be like a treasure hunt. You have to look underneath the words to figure out what he's trying to say. It helps if you know his conversation rules. 1, don't use 2 words when one will do. 2, if you don't have the words you need, borrow someone else's. 3, if you need to borrow words, Arnold LaBelle wrote some good ones. That button line comes from a story in one of David's favorite books, Arnold LaBelle's Frog and Toad Are Friends. In the story, Toad keeps finding buttons, big ones, little ones, square ones, but none of the buttons he finds is the right button. Like none of the passing cars is Dad. But that would take too much explaining, and the girl is already going back inside her house. No cookies, no trading hi or my name is, no flashlight discussions or even a nice to meet you. Her first words to me were, is he okay? I'll pick you up at 5 o'clock, David whispers. A tear is gleaming like a tiny pearl on his eyelashes and down his face. My grip on his arm softens. Dad's still coming, I say. Late doesn't mean not coming. But those words don't help. So I reach over and I wipe away his tear with the side of my thumb and say the only words that I know will calm him. Frog, you are looking quite green. David sniffles. But I always look green, said Frog. I'm a frog. I pause, pretending that I don't remember what comes next, even though I can do the entire book word for word by heart. Today, you look very green, even for a frog, said Toad. David looks at me. I nod. Even for a frog. David and I sit on the swing until Dad pulls into the driveway. Ready to go, sport? He calls. though David is already running down the steps, headed for the car. I watched David trying to get into the car without closing his umbrella. I'm sorry I'm late, Dad waves to me. Mrs. Jessland came in last minute and needed her heart pills. Want to come, Catherine? No, thanks. I checked my watch. 5:42. All right, so the response that I was thinking you could do today was to talk about a time that you had to help calm a younger sibling or a younger cousin or maybe a younger friend down because they were really upset about something. And even though you knew it was really not as big of a deal, it seems like a really big deal to them because they're younger. Okay? I'll look forward to your responses, and we'll do chapter 4 soon.